Hey everyone, Happy New Year and welcome to PC Perspective. Today's video review has us looking at the new Cosmos 2, a case that Cooler Master calls an Ultra Tower due to its size and flexibility in configuration at an impressive $350 MSRP. We have been reviewing quite a few cases on PC Perspective recently as more and more manufacturers are releasing new and revised designs in time for the pending system upgrades caused by Sandy Bridge E and even Ivy Bridge. We have seen low-cost options from Corsair and Antec, as well as more mid-range solutions from others, but this new Cooler Master case will definitely be addressing a much more enthusiast-centric buyer. We already mentioned the high price of the Cosmos 2, but Cooler Master has truly built an impressive design that almost makes the cost seem reasonable. There are quite simply an astounding amount of features and configuration options here that must be seen to be believed. Let's take a look. The Cosmos 2 is a huge case, measuring 13.5 inches wide by nearly 28 inches tall and 26 inches deep. The exterior is built primarily with aluminum that is both high quality and repels fingerprints. If you remember the original Cosmos case from Cooler Master, the look and style of the two cases are very familiar, but that similarity is only skin deep. The most distinctive features are the swinging doors that open on hinges near the front that allow you to access the interior of the case. The doors can be easily removed by lifting up on them for initial installation, but for most users you'll be able to do any and all tweaking with the doors open. Both sides have air slots that are functional as well as good looking, and the primary side can also have up to two 120mm intake fans installed on it. The back side of the case shows a bottom mount power supply location with an external bracket used to mount and then slide the power supply inside the case. By having the power supply stick out a bit, it gives you more room inside for cable routing. The case supports 10 expansion slots and thus will be able to handle quad SLI or quad crossfire if your motherboard can handle it too. The additional expansion slot here will work with riser card extensions seen in workstations, or if you have a separate fan or lighting controller, or maybe even an audio breakout without taking space where an add-in card could go. The front of the case has some interesting features as well, including the sliding door that hides the 5¼ inch bays and two hot swap ready 3.5 inch bays with locks. The front intake fan is 200mm with an LED. The front panel connections include two USB 3.0 ports, 4 standard USB ports, an audio input and output, as well as an eSATA port for those of you with that type of external storage. The very top of the case is removable to reveal an opening that can support a single 200mm fan or up to three 120mm fans, as well as a 240 or 360mm radiator. The aluminum bars along the top are functional as handles, and the ones on the bottom have rubber pads on them for damage and vibration control. The button panel up top, also hidden by a sliding door, reveals a host of features that Cooler Master has included on the Cosmos 2. There are power and reset buttons along with a button to toggle any LED fans that you have hooked up to the internal controller. The other buttons are to control speeds for front, top, hard drive, and GPU fans with 3 settings, low, medium, and high, with blue, purple, and red LED indicators. Every fan that could be an intake spot for air is covered by a filter on the Cosmos 2. The front panel can be removed by simply pulling from underneath. Both side doors have filters that are removable by taking out a few screws. The power supply has a slide-out filter accessible from the back, and the top of the case can be removed again to clean the mesh filter. I'm glad to see that Cooler Master went all out with these, though I still would prefer that the side door filters not require the use of screws, and that the power supply filter would be accessible through the side rather than the back. Once you get inside the Cosmos 2, you will see there's quite a bit of space, even though with the amount of features included, it isn't wide open. It is segmented into a few different zones for easier and more manageable cooling. The first thing you see is the motherboard mounting plate that can handle XL ATX motherboards, as well as most dual CPU socket options. There is a large CPU backplate opening for CPU cooler swaps, and the grommeted cable routing openings are large and plentiful, including a pair at the bottom for access to the power supply area. In this same cooling zone, you'll find the 3 optical drive bays with screwless retention, as well as screwless hard drive bays. There are 5 of these bays here with swing-out doors, and the trays flex to allow for easy installation of standard hard drives. SSDs and 2.5-inch drives will require screws. If you want, you can remove all 5 of these bays and take out the innermost wall to make more space for really long graphics cards or just to aid in airflow. This mess of cables includes your front panel connections, fan controller power cables, as well as fan LED controller cables, USB connections, audio connections, and even the hot swap SATA power and data cables. Despite all the cable routing openings, you will definitely want to spend some time routing them properly and keeping all of this neat and clean. In the lower section, we find the power supply and a couple of fans that actually hide 6 additional hard drive trays. This brings the total hard drive bays to 13, though these here are removable should you want more space for a longer power supply or even to install a 240mm radiator and fan combination. This really gives the Cosmos 2 a lot of flexibility for cooling solutions, including the area up top for a large radiator as well. The power supply cables have plenty of room behind the hard drives and motherboard tray to be bundled neatly and to be routed easily to all the locations power is needed. One of the benefits of Cooler Master's design is that despite the large size of the Cosmos 2, standard power cables will reach components without much hassle. But just in case, they have included an 8-pin ATX extension in the box. While I realize that not many users are going to be looking for a $350 case, the Cooler Master Cosmos 2 is an impressive option for those with a bit more cash to drop on their new system build. It is rare to find a design that allows so much variance in system design by allowing for options like water cooling via top-mounted 240 or 360mm radiator, a 240mm sideways mounted radiator on the bottom, and the now standard 120 or 140mm rear-mounted water cooling kits. You could instead choose to use regular cooling but have access to all 13 hard drive slots, or add in additional fans to help cool your quad SLI or Crossfire configuration. Little touches like the +1 expansion slot and all of the removable filters add to a functional as well as a visually impressive design with swinging hinge doors, aluminum tubes used for feet and for handles, and sliding panels on the front and top of the case. The Cosmos 2 might now be considered the dream case for enthusiasts everywhere. I'm Ryan Trout for PC Perspective. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out PCPer.com for more reviews and information on everything PC hardware.